Hello, everybody. Welcome back to SuppTalk Radio. As always, I am excited in true SuppTalk fashion, bringing on the smaller upcoming brands that have just awesome products, great ingredients that you guys need to know about. Today, I am joined by Alan, the founder, CEO of Hollow Labs. Alan, I know we've been playing tag, but thank you so much for jumping on this afternoon.
Yeah, of course, Sean. Thanks for having me.
You know, I've been watching you guys for a while. I know. So I guess let's start us off. How old is the brand?
So the brand's about 5 years old now.
Okay, and as you mentioned offline that you have stores as well. Did this start off as kind of a store brand, or was it kind of independent of the stores?
I guess it started off as a store brand. You know, I had the stores for a couple of years, and I just saw some of the products that were coming out. I had an idea that I can make some products that were better. So I came out with a couple products, and we told our customers from the beginning that it was my brand. I know a lot of guys who have stores will kind of keep it quiet when they release a brand, but we went the opposite route. We had let people know that this is our brand. If you guys want to support us, cool. If not, that's fine also. And people really got behind it. So I kind of just I took it by the horns, and now I got a full line. So we got about 11 products now.
Love it. And I'm sure. Did you have to deliberate being honest with the customers, or was it like, first and foremost, you're going to tell people right from the start?
We told them right from the start. Yeah, we didn't want it to be like, you go into some stores and they're trying to sell you their brand. Yep. And then over time you find out that it's their brand and they didn't tell you, and they kind of feel like they've been deceived a little bit. So from day one, I came out and I said, hey, look, this is my brand. This is my store. Even today, when I have customers in the store and I'm talking about it, first thing I say is like, hey, full transparency, this is my brand. And usually that makes them want to support it even more. So
I love it, because I remember many years ago there was brands that came out with, I said stores that came out throwing brands, but I felt like just the quality was not good. This going back many years, but I feel a lot of stores now are taking that route. They are being transparent, and a lot of the I guess the house brands, or whatever the proper term is, are a lot better, and sometimes even better than some of the better brands that are out there.
Yeah. We have the margins, right? So we can kind of play with the margins a little bit, and I do have it in a handful of other stores. But I don't have a sales rep. I don't go around trying to get in stores anymore. I did for a little bit, but my success rate was so low. I said, let me just lean into my own stores, lean into my social media, my direct to consumer, and that's starting to pick up too. So it's just a lot easier that way,
And Alan, what is your background growing up? Were you an athlete? What was your entrance into supplements, sports nutrition, and whatnot?
I've been lifting my whole life, really. So, played football my whole life, soccer, just lifting. I worked at a gym for a couple of years, and once that was over, I started a store. I started my store. So I don't really have any background in the supplement industry. I kind of just fell into it.
Okay. And what were the first products you tried way back when? And I love asking this question. People's brains go crazy.
Yeah, I don't remember anything from when I was younger, but there was something called Winnie Depot.
Okay, yep.
It was like a pro hormone. I was probably 18 or 19. And I remember that was definitely some kind of steroid, because I just got, within like a month, I got massive. I got really strong. It was ridiculous. Other than, Jack 3D, Oxy Elite, those are like the classics.
Awesome. So now let's talk a little bit about your product line. I know it looks like when you started off, it was originally a couple of pre-workouts, correct? Is that what you hit the market with?
Yep. Yeah, it was a pump, and like a test booster / muscle builder.
And then recently and we talked about this offline, you just dropped a liquid glycerol pump product, and you mentioned that it's selling like gangbusters, huh?
Yeah, it's actually, I think it's the most successful launch we've ever done before. I think the label has a lot to do with it too. It's got a cool label, so I think people see it and they just want to try it, and then they try it, and it hits so hard, dude. It's ridiculous how hard the pump hits. Was it
like a no-brainer? Because I know that seems to be one of the hotter trends now of doing a liquid pump or liquid glycerol product.
Well, I never thought about doing a liquid pump, but what happened was we had a particular brand that we have in stores, and the liquid flies. So one of my employees said, hey, why don't you make one? And I said, that's not a bad idea. So I made one, and now, they're flying off the shelves. Like I said, we're going to sell out of the first batch before I even get the second batch here, which I'm I'm small, so I rarely sell out of products just because we don't move them so fast. I'm able to kind of forecast a little bit better. but this stuff, I couldn't believe how well it moves. So I think I'm going to, maybe make another couple of liquid products and see how they do.
I think it's funny because I'm going to age myself because I used to use glycerol back in the 90s. I was a big EAS person. And
God.
Bill Phillips and EAS came out with the liquid glycerol. It looked almost like liquid Vaseline. I mean, it wasn't as thick, but it was just very, very goopy.
Yep.
You mix it with like a cup and a half of water, if I remember. Again, this is going back 25, 30 years. And I think it's interesting how it kind of died down. Then we had the powdered glycerol pop up, and that seemed to have its clumping issues and all sorts of issues. And now over the last year, the liquid seems to be back and doing well for everybody.
Yep. Yeah. It's not great to work with. It's like oily, it's kind of oily. There's always oil on the outside of the tub, no matter what you do. I have it in my cabinet. I'm always having to like wipe underneath it because it gets everywhere for some reason. Yeah. So, but it works. It's one of those things like you're willing to deal with that because of how well it works.
Alan, if you don't mind, because I tried looking on the website, and just to be transparent, the ingredient panel, when you blow it up, it's a little blurry. Do you mind kind of sharing maybe some of the highlights of the ingredients?
On the Berserker?
Yeah.
Oh, well, good to know. Thank you. I'll have to check that out. So yeah, the main drivers, there's going to be 20 grams of glycerol and then 10 grams of citrulline.
20 grams per serving?
So it's a 2-cap serving.
Okay.
So for 2 caps, I'll be honest with you, I never do 2 caps. It's so unnecessary.
Yep.
So there's 50 capfuls. So even if you do 1 capful and you get 50 servings, it's 10 grams of glycerol, 5 grams of citrulline, and then everything else is just kind of added benefit. There's some nootropics in there too. So it's nice.
And I love that too, because there's a lot of brands, I don't know, stereotype, but some of the brands that throw glycerol, the actual powder in their products, they're dosing it 1 gram, 2 gram. But like studies are showing you need 10, 20 plus. It's nice to refreshing to hear that you've got a nice healthy dosage in it. Yeah.
Wow. I couldn't imagine. So I have another pump, a powder pump, and I believe we have either 3 or 4 grams of glycerol in there. Yep. And for some reason, the powder form is a lot more expensive. So I couldn't imagine what the formula would cost if I had 10 grams. And the clumping, it would clump like crazy. You wouldn't even be able to get away with it, I think, with the clumping.
Yep. Is it flavored or is it natural?
So it has a flavor, but it doesn't really taste like much.
Okay.
It's supposed to be blue raspberry, but like I said, it doesn't have much of a flavor. I always recommend people mix it with something else just because it doesn't have the greatest taste. Yep. I've seen people take shots of it, which I would never do. So I just mix it with something. I'm taking multiple things with pre-workout, so it's easy to just drop a shot of that in there.
So is that made pretty much to stack for, let's say, the caffeinated people to stack with one of your other products, or do you recommend that if they want to?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's just completely non-stim, right? So what I like about it is you can take it whenever, and you can take it with anything else. You can stack it with a caffeine-based pre-workout in the morning. You can take it at night when you're training if you don't want to affect your sleep. So I'm a big fan of the non-stim products. I also have a non-stim thermo that we just dropped also.
I saw that. So talk about that a little bit. That looks like a great product as well.
Yeah, so that one's called Ignite. There's GBB, the capsaicin, some carnitine, like the typical thermo ingredients. I went a little bit lower on the GBB just because I think 50 milligrams of GBB is just, it's just too much, man. It's just lighting you up. Yeah.
So I was gonna say it's more probably a warm thermogenesis than like the true dripping in sweat for 4 hours.
Yeah, for sure. Honestly, I do 1/4 to a 1/2 scoop, and before I even finish it, I'm already noticing it. You get the little bit of the nose, your nose starts to run.
Yep.
So it's plenty strong. I probably should have did like a 1/2 scoop serving for beginners. Foresight.
And then another big category here, Focus. And you got looks like another great product called Quantum. And I know Focus is a big category right now. I almost feel like it's sometimes neck and neck pre-workout or just a good Focus instead of an energy drink or a cup of coffee. I mean, I love a Focus product in the afternoon personally.
Yeah. So I've been big into the nootropics the last couple of years. And again, I'll be honest, I draw a lot of inspiration from the products that come through my doors. Like I'll see something come through, it does well, and I look at the ingredient panel and I'm like, this is okay, but it shouldn't be doing as well as it does. And then I aim to make it better. Like I said, I'll draw some inspiration. So we had a really, a decent nootropic product come through. I saw the formula, I saw what they were selling it for. And just because I've been making products for so long, I kind of have an idea of what the formulas cost. So I said, well, I can definitely make this better. So then, Quantum was born, and I do a lot of like trail running, jujitsu and stuff like that. So the
Yep.
high stim, the beta alanine, the type pre-workouts for me, they don't work. It's just too much,
Okay.
So I wanted to make a more smooth, kind of mellow, nootropic style pre-workout. And Quantum, I took it twice today already because I did jujitsu in the morning. So I did a half a scoop, and then I just went for a run. So I did a half a scoop. So, it's nice and light. It's 150 milligrams per half scoop. The nootropic form, you saw the formula. It's absolutely loaded.
Yes, yes. And something else I got to give you kudos to is your labels. I mean, your labels, I'm not just kissing your ass here. Your labels are solid. I mean, are you doing them yourselves, or be honest, are you kind of working with graphic houses and whatnot?
Yeah. So this is the third rebranding that we've had since we started the brand. So I was working with a graphic designer for, I don't know, probably took 3, 4, 5 months to nail down exactly what we wanted. There's a lot of back and forth there, a lot of back and forth, and I'm super picky. So I wanted to do it right this time. I wanted to rebrand, not have to do it again for a while. So we came up with this, this template, and now we have a template. And then for each different product, we just have, we'll make a little bit of a change. With the Ignite, we went with like the burnt looking type label, but stayed with the template. So we kind of have just like a base template, and then we'll tweak it a little bit based on the product and what the product does. But I've gotten a lot of feedback on the labels lately, so thank you. I really appreciate that.
So what caused the genesis of the rebrands? I think you said 2 or 3 rebrands.
So the first one, honestly, I just didn't like the logo. The logo was very like hard, like too hardcore. It just looked too kind of edgy, and I'm trying to take this thing, to the next level. The first rebrand was just redoing the logo, right? So then with that, obviously the packaging changed. And then the last rebrand was, I just thought it needed an upgrade, so we rebranded at the beginning of this year, which, 2023, I kind of took a little bit of a hiatus. I came out with no new products. I didn't really know what direction I wanted to go with the brand, because what happened was when I released the brand, for some reason, it just became like a bodybuilding brand. I guess that's just kind of who gravitated towards it. I'm not a bodybuilder. I've never been a bodybuilder. I don't particularly like bodybuilding. I respect what they do, right? They put themselves through, but I've never liked it. So I kind of lost passion for the brand. So at the start of this year, I said, well, let me kind of retake back my brand. So rebranded, started making more content for like jujitsu. I love jujitsu. So I started making some more like martial arts type content, and I like it. It's like reignited passion in me now. So
Awesome.
Just this year, I redid the Flood, which is the pump. I came out with the Quantum, the Berserker, the Ignite. I just came out with Shadow Realm, which is another pre-workout, electrolytes, 2 new creatines, reformulated my test booster. So I did this all in the this year. So I'm kind of like making up for lost time. Been super busy, but it's fun. It's fun, man. I got 2 more products in the works too. So after that, we're going to settle down a bit, breathe, and, kind of figure out where we're going for the second half of the year.
Was it almost tough though with the first and second, I guess, revisions, almost like admitting, letting your kid go, or like, hey, maybe my baby's not as pretty as it should be? I mean, was it kind of tough to internalize?
No, it was one of those things where you just like, when you see something and you can't unsee it.
Yep.
It's kind of like that, like this thing needs to change in order for it to grow and to get better. And I think we did a good job. The first rebranding was okay. This last one, I really put a lot of time, effort into it. And, now I love it. I'm like super passionate about it. It's more motivated than I've ever been for the brand, so it's fun time right now for us.
And that explains it, because obviously you and I have been dialoguing for a little while now, because I looked at my DMs. I think you and I started connecting like 2 years ago, and then we lost track a little bit. And then when we connected earlier this year, you're like, look, give me some time here. I'm doing some crazy stuff. And now I know why.
Yeah. So now I have something that I'm more proud of that I can talk, because if we would have had this conversation 6 months ago, I would have had nothing to talk about, So now I have plenty to talk about.
So Alan, weird question. So being a store owner as well, okay, how much does the actual look of a label, like if you think about maybe some of your better brands, I'm not going to ask to put you on the spot of who they are, but if you look at some of your better brands, Is it the ingredients that are selling the brands, or is it the labels? Is the combination of both? I don't know if I'm explaining that correctly.
No, for sure. Yeah, I get it. I would say it's a combination of both.
Okay.
I would say you have a better luck selling a bad formula with a good label
Okay.
than a good formula with a bad label. But with, you know, what these guys are doing now with these like some of these labels, man, they're impressive. They're impressive. So, but they're also coming with proper formulas too, you know, which is that's kind of what inspired me to do that Berserker. You saw the label with, you know, with the Viking and the bear hat with the axe, you know, like that. I said, well, everybody else is doing these wild labels. Let me have some fun with it. So great label, great formula, it's flying, you know. So I think it's a little bit of both. And, you know, in my store, my guys are good. I have 3 like really amazing managers, and even my part-timers are really good. So they take the time to educate the customers. You know, so if there's some products we carry that just aren't great, and we have to carry them because people want what they want, you know, and it brings people in. So they do a good job at educating people without, you know, like forcing the cross sell, you know. So
but no, I hear you, because that's one of the things I've seen evolve over the years. Where, you know, I'm old school, brother. At the end of the day, a label might look well, but at the end of the day, I'm spinning it around and looking at the panel. You know, but that's just me. But I know that's how things have evolved, where it was, you know, just static black and maybe a label or the name or whatever, versus all these like craziness. Like you have all this positive great things.
Yeah, I think it's important. I look at both. You know, when brands approach me, if they have good formulas and the labels are bad, we may not bring it in. You know, it's important. It's really important for like the aesthetics on the shelves. If you have something that looks really plain, and then you're putting it next to, you know, like Panda, great labels, Inspired, great labels. If you're in between those 2 brands, nobody's going to look at. They're going to look right over your brand, you know, as they're just like grazing the shelves.
You know, that's the other thing too that I think sometimes that people overlook is, if you want to go brick and mortar, it's like sometimes people don't think, how is a black label going to look on a black shelf, or how's it going to look on a white shelf? Like people are always talking about the ingredients and the labels, but they're not thinking the big picture. You know, and I'm kind of like one of those big picture type people. So I always tell people, well, how's it going to look on this type of shelf, a wood shelf, a plain white shelf, you know, and there's a lot of things that go into it.
Yeah, you know, I wonder, do you think brands even think about brick and mortar anymore?
I don't think so. I think it's an afterthought. You know, I feel like there might be 1 out of every 10 brands nowadays that say, I want to go brick and mortar, or there's still a couple that are strictly store brands that they don't want to go retail online.
Yeah, it's tough, man. So when we started the store 7 years ago, when people ask me this question, like, you know, what's different from when I started to now, I feel like I'm in a different industry. It doesn't even feel like it's the same. Brands used to really support us. When they would approach us, they'd say, okay, you know, we'll bring it in. This is where we need to be with margins. Can you help us with support, swag, stuff like that? Yeah, sure, no problem. We'll come down a little bit in the margins. We'll help you guys out. Now it's like you can place a $3,000 order with some of these brands and ask for a unit for sampling. Oh no, sorry, we can't do that. You know, and it's because they're putting their money into the D2C marketing. You see it on social media. That's where the money's going. They're not spending money with stores. And you know, in the beginning, I was kind of I was like frustrated, but I get it. You know, like they're doing what's best for them, right? That's what we're all out here trying to make a living and trying to do what's best for us. So I can't really knock them, and I'm kind of in the middle of that. You know, where I have I'm more brick and mortar, right? But I'm also not hunting down stores anymore. Like I don't contact stores, period.
Yeah. Okay.
I just don't. I don't waste my time. I don't have a sales rep. I'm not going to be flying somebody around. You know, I'll get word of mouth stores here and there, or somebody reach out to me on social media, and that's great. Like if they come ask me, awesome. I'd love to work with them. Having the experience of having stores, I feel like I can also help them too, the newer stores. Sure. You know, so I love helping out the newer stores. Most of my store owners are like newer store owners. They have 1, maybe 2 locations, and I love to be able to offer, you know, some feedback and, you know, some experience about what I've been through. But you know, like I said, I'm not chasing down stores anymore. It's just the effort does not, you know, it just doesn't pay off at this point.
You know, and I think to go back to what you're saying, things have changed, because I used to work for a company years ago, and I used to go to like vitamin shops in my area and do demos. I'd be the only one in the store, and it was more of, the owner was like, look, if we get some sales out of it, great. But at the end of the day, I'm making brand awareness, and I think, like you said earlier, the companies don't want to, either they want to be lean and not have a salesperson pay somebody $50 for 2 hours to go into the store. I don't get it. Like, all you see nowadays is these big block parties, which are great. But I'm like, why don't you just do ones and twosies once in a while? But like, hey, this company's going to be here Saturday. Come and talk to the rep. But I don't know if you do that in your stores or not.
We don't. We could. We could. You know what? I would hate to have somebody come out for a couple hours and it'd be a slow night.
Yep.
And they only see one or two, then they're paying their rep to come, set the whole table up, be there for 2-3 hours and only see 2 or 3 customers, So what we do is we do a lot of in-gym demos.
Sweet.
Stores, and sometimes the brands will tag along with us.
Yep.
Then they're getting good exposure, right? You're seeing a couple hundred people at a gym from 5 to 8. It's a lot better exposure for them. So I feel like it's worth it. But to have a store, have a brand come set up on like a random Monday night, it just you would think that it would pay off, but I don't think it's worth it, honestly. As a brand owner, I kind of see both sides. I wouldn't want to go set up in a store for 3 hours on a Monday night and just hope that there's a couple customers in there,
Yep. Now you said the store. What, I guess your oldest store is 7 years old, give or take.
7 years. Yeah, 7 years and 2 days, actually.
Wow, congrats. So when you look back to 7 years till now, I mean, are sales the same? Are they better? I mean, because again, you said earlier, everyone's saying that retail's dead. It's all Amazon and online. But how are you doing over the last 7 years?
There's been some ups and downs for sure.
Okay.
There's been ups and downs, but over the last six months, we've changed a lot of things. Me and my partner, we've changed a lot, and things are just every month we're getting better. And the difference is the guys that we have, right?
Yep.
Like me and my partner, I have a family. We've been in business for 7 years, so we're not in the stores barely at all. So it really comes down to our guys, and we've been leaning into our guys, bringing in better guys, paying them more. And just like working with them, kind of mentoring them, working with them on really customer relation. We don't train sales. We don't train, most supplement stores you go into, it's like all about sales. We barely talk numbers anymore.
Really?
We talk
Okay.
about, customer experience. Like, how can you help your customer? How can you make an impact? Like, what are we doing this week that's going to help our customers, right? We stopped talking about numbers. And as soon as we stopped talking about the numbers, that's when they went up. It doesn't make any sense. I know.
I can see that. I can see that. But do you do any brand like product education, or is it really on the employee themselves to go to company.com and do their own education?
Well, no, we do a little bit of that. No, we do. We'll talk. We have a weekly meeting, and we do talk about some of the new products. But to be honest with you, most of our guys are super knowledgeable. It's awesome. Their passion. So when they're in the store, there's some downtime. They're doing their own research, and I learn a lot from my guys. Honestly, they may know more than I do at this point with some of the new stuff that comes in. So they're good, man. I'm so grateful. I have some really good guys. So the next couple of years, I think we're going to grow, and I wouldn't say retail is dead. Maybe people who say that need to work on their customer service and their customer experience, because we get new people every day, and it's all word of mouth,
Yeah, and I almost feel like sometimes the mom and pop, put you in mom and pop, stores that are doing better than the GNCs and the vitamin shops and whatnot, because of the fact of it sounds like you're more invested. You have a good sales team. Like for me, I go to the vitamin shop here in town because I like the experience of walking in, touching bottles, what's new, what's exciting. But then all these kids are like, hey, well, just out of curiosity, what's selling? Well, that is. Well, why? I don't know. People want it. What's your best pre-workout? Well, that one is why. Well, because it's Ghost. But what about the ingredients? No, there's nothing. Does corporate train you? No. I'm like, okay, that's just me. Yeah. I'm on my high horse.
Yeah, no, I get it. And our guys, we teach education over sales, right?
Yep.
Like we want our customer educated. And, I'll tell customers in the store, like, I'm going to sell you something, but it's by educating you, and it's something that you're going to like, so you're going to come back, you're going to thank, by the time you leave here, they're thanking me. My customers, they'll come spend $300-400 thanking me. And I'm like, no, thank you. Like, I really appreciate the support, because I know there's a store down the road, there's a store across the street, and there's 400 websites you can go on to, spend your hard-earned money, but you choose to come here. So like, thank you. We really appreciate you guys coming here. I think like showing them gratitude for that is super important too. because like I said, they can go anywhere for this stuff, and they're coming to us, which is just, one in a million. So I think we're doing something right in that sense. It's showing them that we appreciate them, and just, like just caring, we care about our people.
That's it. People respect you more. I used to run out of, not exist anymore, a place called Vitamin World back many years ago. And I'd have the customers come in and I'd say, listen, you don't want to buy that. I'd like turn customers away, and they'd respect that. And they'd come back for something else later, because I didn't force, like saying, you didn't force a sale on them. They appreciate the knowledge and say, okay, great, I'll go somewhere else, but come back tomorrow for this product. Yep.
I've gotten that a ton of times over the years too. Like the amount of times people have said to me, thank you for not selling me something I don't need. Like I'm not going to say storage, but the so-and-so store down the road. Yep. I said, well, that's why we're going to be here, and we have 3 stores, and I'd say in the 7 years that we've been open, we've had 10, 11, 12 stores in our areas closed down since we put them there.
Gotta love it.
Some are GNC, some are vitamin shops, some are other like small brick and mortar stores. And I think it's because the customer service, we've always been, it's customers over everything, like just take care of your people and they'll take care of you. And I think between the 3 stores we have, I think we have, I don't know, over 600 5-star reviews in 7 years.
Wow. And those will go far, man.
Dude, I got a 4-star like a couple months ago, and I was disappointed. I reached out to the person. I was like, what would it have taken to get 5 stars? Because 4 is, I'm not even satisfied with 4. I want 5 from everybody,
Did they respond back?
No, they didn't respond back. And that's okay.
You know what, though, in all fairness, though, brother, you don't want a 4, obviously, but it's humbling, though, because sometimes, like when you're on Amazon, you see 1,000 reviews, they're all 5 stars. It's like something's not right here. You want some lower stars to kind of humble it a little bit.
Yeah, not me. It still is 5. I think, I think you'd have to get a handful of 4s for it to be 4 point something.
Yep.
So we're still rocking at 5 in all 3 locations. And that is, I pride myself in all of that. That's the most important thing to me. If you got 5 stars, you're doing all right.
Yeah. So now are your stores like full service? Like, can I walk in and buy a bottle of vitamin C, or are you more kind of supplements, or what exactly?
Yeah, no, we have vitamins. We carry, I'm sure you've heard of NutriBio before, right?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, so we carry, that's pretty much our vitamin line, is all the vitamin C, D3, selenium. We have a good amount of them. And then, some Revive, some Project AD stuff, tons of Omega. But yeah, you can get pretty much everything in the store. We don't carry like the herbs and stuff like that, but we do carry a lot of the vitamins, the Bs, B complex, stuff like that, zinc. And we've added it over the years, because in the beginning it was like strictly sports performance. Okay. But we noticed that there was a demand for that stuff, and we saw a good amount of it.
Do you feel that's a category that's growing, is more the I'll say the health and organ support? Are you seeing a big spike in that area?
I think after the whole COVID thing, I think people's mindsets started to shift a little bit to overall health. Yeah. We noticed a lot of like more vitamins, typically like specifically like the D3, anything that helps immunity really started to become more popular. So for sure. Yep.
Now let's shift focus back to the brand here. We kind of hijacked talking about your stores. Let's go back to the Hololev brand. Very well rounded. I mean, you got a whole host of different categories. You're going to do a protein, or is that kind of not even on the agenda? That's an iffy one sometimes.
I had a protein. I did.
Did you?
I had a protein. Yeah. So I put the purchase order in right before COVID. So I did 2 flavors, and I don't think my brain wasn't ready for a protein, because with proteins, it's heavy. The margins are non-existent. Yeah. Right. You got to pay for shipping, and I only had 2 flavors, and they weren't the greatest flavors. So, and then my protein price went up 50%.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, so I nixed the protein. I don't expect to do protein. I mean, maybe 2026 we'll start looking at protein, but there's so many other products I can do before that, to get the brand growing. I'm starting to do some more capsules now.
Oh, nice. And as you said, you have the store to kind of back it up with not carrying the protein. I'm sure you can kind of slip in a different brand of protein somewhere.
Yeah, we sell a lot of different proteins in there, so it's you just don't make any money on protein,
Yeah. Yeah.
Protein's
Uh,
what, it's good to have, right? Brand recognition. It's easier to get athletes on your team if you have protein because they're all taking protein. But for us right now, I think we're going to stay away from it for a couple of years.
Yep. So now what's next for your brand? Obviously, you just dropped a boatload. Are you kind of on cruise control now, or is the wheel still going for more products this year?
No, yeah. So I have the next thing I have coming is I'm doing a magnesium blend, like a nighttime magnesium, zinc, boron, a couple
Okay.
other things in there. I also have a joint support coming,
Oh,
which
nice.
is it's going to really good joint support, and then a fat burner capsule that's going to pair well with the non-stim powder.
Okay.
So those will be the next three products. I would say, would it be mid June?
Yeah.
So by the end of July, I'll have those three things, and by then I'll probably think up something else to do. So I'm this year I planned on coming out with 20 products this year, and I've come out
Wow.
with 10, like either new products or reformulated 10. This will
Okay.
be 13 by the end of July. So I'm still on pace, and I want to hit that number. So I think I'll get there.
Jeez. So what goes into your formulations? Are you the only person? You have a team to kind of soundboard with, or what's that look like?
I have a friend. His name is Brian. Really
Okay.
good with formula, so he does help me a little bit. But I am pretty much a one-man team. I
Okay.
pretty much do everything. I'm starting to realize that that's really holding me back, thinking that I'm the only one that can do anything.
It's not
So
uncommon though. It's your baby.
what's that?
It's not uncommon. It's your baby. You want to kind of have control of it.
It is, but in order to grow, I just can't. With the three stores, the brand, and I have a daughter. I have a 2-year-old now,
Yep.
so it's impossible for me to grow and keep my mental health in a good state. Um, so I've started to bring some people on the team, good
Okay.
people, and I'm already noticing like a massive improvement in what's going on. So I'm looking to add some more people over the next year, just to kind of help me with, product formulation, even shipping. Like I still
Yep.
do other shipping, you know?
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I do everything. The social media, I do all the videos. So I just hired somebody to help me with pretty much like the posting and the editing and the social media management, which has been a huge weight off my shoulders.
Okay.
In the next month, I'll have somebody else doing the shipping at another location. So I won't have to do the shipping anymore, which, sometimes I'll spend 3-4 hours a day packing boxes,
Yep.
which I enjoy. I actually do like packing
It's
them.
therapy.
I write little like handwritten notes. I put some music on. But at this point, it's like, you're the owner of this company, and not that I'm above packing boxes, but my time can be spent better on building the brand and not packing orders. You know what I mean?
Yep. And
So
you know what?
that's,
I'm a father too. I've got a teen and a 20-year-old. So enjoy those times now because 2 years old, man, it's like you blink, you miss that one little word, that couple of steps or whatever process she's in. Those are the areas you don't want to miss.
yeah. So I have a 22-year-old daughter,
Oh,
and then I have
okay.
a 2-year-old daughter. So
You got
I
both
totally
spectrums.
get that. Yeah, which is why I try to work from home, and we've built this life to where I have a lot of freedom and a
Yep.
lot of flexibility, and I'm super super grateful for that. But this is
Awesome.
this was the plan. Me and my wife. It was like when we started this business, this was really the plan. It was like in 5 to 7 years, we'll be ready to have a baby. My wife can stop working. The business can support us, and that's exactly what we've done. So it's
Awesome.
it's been an interesting ride to like to have a vision and see it actually come into fruition exactly how you planned.
Yep.
It's amazing. Yeah, it's been amazing.
You're a success story, brother. Because again, I didn't know about the store thing. I thought you were just strictly supplements, but it's good that you've got almost that completeness, like you're saying. You got family, friends. You got a successful multiple businesses. So kudos to you, man.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm also in recovery too.
Oh,
I had
really?
a 13 years of battling with drug addiction. So
Okay.
yeah, so
Wow.
it's been a hell of a ride for sure.
Good for you, brother. Wow. Learn more and more. I love it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, 11 years ago, I was practically homeless. Had nothing. Had one pair of clothes to my name and a pair of shoes. That's all I had. And somehow, call it God, call it the universe, divine, whatever you want to call it, has blessed me. And I've worked for it for sure, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know how this has happened, man. Honestly, this is like a miracle.
Alan, was there, if I could be nosy, was there a defining moment you hit like rock bottom bad, or like what was the turning point?
Yeah, I was in jail,
Okay.
and I was facing prison time, really.
Okay.
And that was kind of like, that was the first thing. I was like, I
Yeah.
don't want to
Yeah.
go to prison. I'm not built for prison.
Yep.
And I had made some mistakes after that and got arrested again. And one day I woke up and I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I don't want to live like this. I don't know how to live. I
Yeah.
don't know what I want to do in life, but I definitely don't want to keep doing this. So I surrendered. I went away. I was in a rehab for 30 days. And then
Okay.
I was in a halfway house for 6 months. And then I was in like a sober living for, I don't know, 4 or 5 months. So I did a year. I took a whole year of my life and I was in, some type of like program or like recovery sober situation.
Yeah.
And it paid off, man. It paid off.
Wow, good for you. I don't know if you follow like product reviewers. There's a gentleman, Garage Gym Homie. His name is
Oh,
Ari.
yeah. Yeah,
Very similar story. I don't know if you know his story. Very similar story as well.
yeah. Yeah,
Jail,
we've
everything
had
else.
conversations. Yeah, he's reviewed some of my stuff too. Yeah, great dude. He's funny as hell, man. I love watching his videos.
Yeah. So I see, obviously I see a lot of you in him because him and I are very close friends and he's very open. And again, he's turned his life, 360 degrees as well, all for the better.
Yeah, yeah, I love it, dude. I love it. It's funny because in the beginning, when I first got clean, I was really embarrassed. I was embarrassed to be the person that was just getting clean and recovery, ex-drug addict. Now it's like, as you can see, I jump at the opportunity to talk about it.
Yep.
I'm like running around telling people, but if the opportunity comes up, I love talking because I'm proud of myself. Like not a lot of people can say that they've been where I've been and now they've actually built a life for themselves. And I think that like, should inspire and motivate people because, dude, I know people say this, but if I can do it, like anybody can do it for sure.
Yeah. No, good for you. Again, good for you, bro. That's why I love things like this. I make a new friend and learn something new about somebody. And again, it's even more of an inspiration now, like listening to this.
Yeah. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
So as we wind down here, Alan, like you talked about more products, but do you have a 3-year plan, a 5-year plan? Because you talked about already hitting that 5 to 7, and now is there a 7 to 10?
You know what? I don't really. I don't look that far out. I
Okay.
know I should. Every business owner would tell you probably should have some kind of plan far out. But like I said, last year I took a complete hiatus. So I'm focused on this year. I have that 20 product mark that I want to hit. And then at the end of this year, I'll probably reassess and, see where we're at moving into 2025. But I don't know, man. I plan on taking it big though. I do for sure. I know I have it in me and I deserve it. So we're going to take it big.
You need to get on Stacked. I'm actually friends with the owner, Shane from Stacked or Stacked 3D, as some people look at it,
Yeah. Yep.
because he does a brand of the year. I had no idea. If you're going to launch 20 products, I need to put you on his radar, to be honest.
Oh, dude, I would love that so much. I don't ever like reach out to anybody like that or try to get my product showcased on, like there's like a bunch of like more popular websites like that.
Yeah.
Dude, if you could do that for me, I would appreciate that so much.
Yeah, I'll talk with him because he doesn't look for anything of it. It's just to let people know again of good companies, good products, and stuff like that. He's one of the good guys out there.
Yeah. Oh, that would be amazing, dude. That would be. Yeah, I would really appreciate that.
Yep. So, Alan, it's truly been a pleasure. Where can people learn more about you, the website, social media, anything else going on?
Yeah. So, the social media is Hollow Labs, website's hollowlabs.com. I also Underground Nutrition or undergroundnutritionnj.com is the website for the stores. So yeah, all our stuff is on there.
Perfect. Well, as always, Alan, again, I'm glad we finally got to meet up here. As I say, the podcast doors are always open. I'd love to have you on again in a couple of months where you got more products.
Yeah,
but
man.
as always, folks, thank you so much for watching. Give Alan and his company a look. Got great, well-dosed products, great labels, and as you see, a really good guy here. Thanks so much. Have a great rest of the day.
Thanks.